In this video, I'm going to be going over the top 10 must-have cards right now in NBA 2K23 My Team. What I do mean by that is cards that I think everybody should have on their squads, or at least should at least consider looking at for like expensive teams. I'll have some expensive cards on this list, and then also some budget cards that I think are must-have on budget teams, and then also like that mid-level. For example, Sampson. So these are not like the top 10 best cards in the game, because not everybody can afford a LeBron, a T-Mac, a Shaq, right? All these expensive cards. So I'm not going to have like the top 10 best cards in the game. It's just going to be must-have cards for their price, and cards that I think can play on some of the best teams in the game and mid-level teams, and then budget squads as well. But Sampson, he's only about 90 to 100,000 MT right now in Xbox, and he can compete against the Manute Bulls, the Yao Mings, the Rick Smiths, those super expensive and tall cards in the game, because he's 7'4" with a 7'8" wingspan, has an elite level player model. Like, he looks like 7'5" in game. He honestly is that good of a player model. His defensive stats are amazing: 97 block, 96 interior defense, 84 steal, 87 perimeter. He's super quick on the court as well for a tall card, 85 speed, 85 acceleration. So if you guys are looking for a center card that's maybe not as expensive as the Yao Ming, or locking in from a Manute Bull, or having to grind for Rick Smith, I think Sampson is a must-have center card right now in the game. But going on to the next card here is going to be the Dark Matter Jonathan Isaac. If you guys are looking for a top level small forward that's not a Bull, a Chet, you know, a LeBron, a Giannis, those really expensive cards, Jonathan Isaac is an amazing small forward, especially on defense. 6'11" at the 3, 7'2" wingspan. He's got pretty much perfect defensive stats and badges, with a 98 block, 97 steal, 97 perimeter, 97 interior defense. He's got every single Hall of Fame defensive badge in the game. And the thing I really like about Jonathan Isaac is his jump shot's not bad. Like, he's got a pretty good release, and then he also does have some new dribble sigs, which are a lot better compared to his previous Galaxy Opal version. He now does have the Trey size up in the John Wall escape, which I think is much better than the previous SIGs, where he had the Kevin Durant size up and the Kevin Durant escape. So this card can move pretty well offensively, great at getting to the basket, can knock down threes, but the main thing about this card is going to be his defense and the value he does provide to the defensive end. The next must-have card though is going to be Vince Carter. Once again, if you can't afford a T-Mac, a LeBron, a Carmelo, you didn't lock in for Terry Dishinger, Hero Tim Thomas, I think Vince Carter is right up there. Maybe not as good as a LeBron, a T-Mac, or Carmelo. I don't think he's as good as those cards, but for his price, only being about 80,000 MT, he's 6'6" at the shooting guard position, 6'9" wingspan. And if you guys are looking for a, you know, must-have card for a mid-level team, I don't think this card can play on the best teams in the game. But if you're looking for like a mid-level squad, I think Vince Carter is a great starting shooting guard, or a guy that you could bring off the bench as just a great offensive 2 guard. He's got a 99 driving dunk, 99 vertical. We know he gets some of the best dunk animations in the game. He's super good at going to the basket, and then also does have a great jump shot with the Kyle Kuzma base, the Vince Carter upper on very quick timing, and then he's also got pretty good dribble sigs with this D Francis size up and the John Wall escape. The next card I do want to talk about is going to be Galaxy Opal Big Z, and the reason why I think he's a must-have card in the game for pretty much most lineups is that means you can run so many different, you know, lineups with Big Z at that shooting guard or small forward position. So for example, if you wanted to run a card in Caleb Martin, because Caleb Martin is one of the best cards in the game, if we're not talking about hype, because you look at him, he's basically an invincible stats and badges wise. He's got one of the best jump shots in the game. He's got the Trey fade, the best dribble sigs, best dunk packages. I mean, this card is super souped out when we're just talking about his animations, his stats, and his badges, but he's only 6'5" at that small forward position. So he's way too small to play small forward. So what you can do is, if you have Big Z on your court, you can play Big Z at shooting guard, you can play Caleb Martin at small forward, and then basically in game, Big Z can guard the opponent's small forward, and Caleb Martin will pretty much play your shooting guard position. And then if you have another tall point guard, like let's say you have a Hedo Turkoglu, a Nikola Jokic, a Ben Simmons, you know, just a tall point guard in the game, you can pretty much play Caleb Martin as a point guard. At least he'll guard the other opponent's point guard, and that's why I think Big Z is super valuable and a must-have card on a lot of people's lineups, because you can run so many different lineups with Big Z in your lineup, because He's 7'3" at the small forward shooting guard position. So if you want to run a little bit undersized power forward like an Anthony Davis or just another undersized card at any position, it's really helpful to have Big Z somewhere on your team. So that's why I do think he's going to be a must-have card for like budget teams. Kind of, he's only 50k, mid-level teams, and especially, you know, those expensive squads as well. He can be super valuable. But the next card I want to talk about is going to be Ron Artest. Once again, if you can't afford a Ben Simmons, a Jokic, those top level point guards, I think Ron Artest for just around 100,000 MT is a super good point guard alternative. 6'7" at the point guard position, 6'10" wingspan, one of the best point guard defenders in my team with a 98 block, 99 steal, 99 perimeter, 98 interior defense. He's got every single Hall of Fame defensive badge in the game besides box out beast, chase on artist, pogo stick, and rebound chaser. And then I also do think Ron Artest has an amazing jump shot with the Marco Fultz base, the Rudy Gay upper on very quick timing. It's just such a knockdown release. And then he's also got pretty good dribble sigs with the D-Mitch size up and the tray escape. So Ron Artest, a must-have point guard in the game for a lot of people. I think he's one of the best point guards in the game. Next card I want to talk about is going to be for some budget teams. These next three cards. So Marc Gasol is definitely a must-have power forward or center for a lot of budget squads. He's 7'1" with a 7'4" wingspan, and I really do think Marc Gasol can do it all on the court, and he's like under 15k. He's got a 92 block, 92 perimeter, 98 interior defense. He plays solid defense in game. He's got a great jump shot on very quick timing. He's got pretty good dribble sigs. He's got a 98 3 ball, 97 mid-range, Hall of Fame Agent 3, catch and shoot, corner specialist, limitless range. They even gave Marc Gasol 90 speed, 90 acceleration, and he does have a 95 strength. So Marc Gasol really just does everything on the court at a super high level, and I think he's a must-have card for a lot of people's budget lineups. The next card is going to be Hedo Turkoglu. If you want to spend a little bit more MT, pay about 40 to 50k, you can go ahead and get his hero version, and that can play on some mid-level and maybe even some of the best teams in the game. Or if you want to run him on a budget squad, you can go ahead and pick up his out of position for about 10 to 15k, and he can play on a lot of people's budget squads because he's 6'10" at the point guard position and has an elite level jump shot with the John Stockton base and the Trae Young upper on very quick timing. So that's what I really like about Hedo Turkoglu, is that he can play on budget squads with his out of position version because he's only 10 to 15,000 MT, so he's super cheap. And then you can also go ahead and spend 40k more for about 50,000 MT and go get his hero version that can play on some mid-level and expensive squads in the game. So Hedo Turkoglu, definitely a must-have point guard right now in my team. And then the last budget card I wanted to talk about is this Galaxy Opal AK-47 for under 10,000 MT. Probably one of the best value cards you can get for under 10,000. He's 6'9" at small forward, 7-foot wingspan. We all still know what AK-47 can do, and I'm really excited to get his Dark Matter version. Kind of surprised we haven't got Dark Matter AK yet, because if he gets his Dark Matter version, you know, gets updated stats, updated badges, you know, maybe he doesn't really need better animations, like maybe better dunk packages, but he's already got a great jump shot. Like, he's so good at the small forward position that I do think he's a must-have small forward on a lot of people's budgets lineups. And then for the second to last card here is going to be the Pink Diamond Taco Fall. Now, the reason why he's a must-have card is because he's 7'6" at power forward, 8'2" wingspan, and he's one of the only affordable giants in the game besides Ralph Sampson. Ralph Sampson and Taco are legit the only two affordable like giants in the game. Taco 7'6", 8'2" wingspan, Ralph Sampson 7'4" with a 7'8" wingspan. But yeah, Taco super valuable and definitely a must-have power forward card in the game to match up against all the other giant power forwards and center cards like Yao Ming, like Rick Smith, Manute Bol. You're gonna need a Taco Fall or Ralph Sampson at least to be on your squad. You might even want both, you know, maybe one in your starting lineup, one on your bench, or even starting them in your starting lineup. So yeah, Taco Fall definitely going to be a must-have card. And then for the final card, I wanted to talk about free cards in general. So cards like Steven Jackson or Stephen Jackson, Steven Jackson. I don't know how you say his name. I said it was Steven Jackson on my first video. People said that I was saying it wrong, so then I called him Stephen Jackson, and then people were saying that it was Steven Jackson. So I don't know what his name is. Probably should look it up of how you pronounce it, but I think free cards in general, these are some like really must-have free cards in the game. I'm just going to count them all as one single card. So Stephen Jackson, Steven Jackson, whatever you do want to call him, is an amazing free shooting guard in the game. Cards like Rick Smith, amazing free center. one of the best centers in the game. Cards like Artest Gilmore, I mean, just super elite at that center power forward position. If you want a really good small forward in Zion Williamson, he's definitely an amazing small forward that can play on your court. And there is tons of other great free cards in the game. Sean Elliott, he's really good as well. You know, cards from previous season like Steve Smith, he's a really good shooting guard. So yeah, those are just going to be some must-have free cards in the game, and all around, that's going to round out my top 10 must-have cards in my team. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my top 10, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.